The NFL Draft is coming up this week, and we are pleased to be joined in studio by a young man who expects to hear his name called, Blake Martinez, Stanford University, Canyon Del Oro High School, 4 years up with the Cardinal. Blake, and first of all, how excited are you about this opportunity to potentially get a chance to play in the league against the game's bests?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, ever since I was 6 years old, I started playing this game. And to kind of go from there all the way to this point in my life, it's a dream come true, and you kind of set goals ever since you're a little kid all the way up till now. And this was the one goal that I put when I was 6. And to kind of have a chance to achieve this goal of being drafted and be able to play in the NFL, it's huge.
4 years at Stanford University, and we must say that you are getting your degree in June, graduating. I mean, that is just amazing to think that you're going to come out of this, if anything, with a Stanford degree.
Yeah, that was one of the big things in my decision process coming from high school to college was, okay, what do I want in life after football? And Stanford is going to give me that. And it sets up, that 4 years is setting up the next 40. And I got to tell you, going through that whole Stanford education process, oh my gosh, it was a grind, but I'm extremely happy to say I finished.
What did you most enjoy about that whole experience of being up in Palo Alto?
I think it's just the people. I mean, the main reason I chose to go to Stanford was the people I was going to be surrounded by, and I think overall it kept growing as I went there. I didn't realize how amazing it was going to be. I knew when I stepped on campus I had guys on the football team that wanted to be successful on and off the field, and that's kind of what I wanted my friend group to kind of be of guys that want to do things past football or in football and kind of help each other to strive to be our best. And stepping in the classroom, I met even more people than I met a top actress. I met someone that sent a spider monkey to space, which was unheard of. I met the top, I think it was like top 3 juggler in the world, and I just saw him juggling like 12 bowling pins one day. I was like, what are you doing? Had to ask him why, and I figured that out. It was kind of those things where every single day I was like, okay, all right, I gotta beat these guys. And you just had that competitive nature every single day you're on campus.
Everybody has a niche, like you said, at Stanford. Now, I understand that you may have a niche. You are a extremely healthy guy, and I heard something about you might be trying to devise a diet plan where people don't eat fast food.
That's the dream. My concept name right now is Slow Foods. It's still in the works, but yeah, it's something that I want to kind of give people the option to kind of step away from fast foods, because right now, I mean, it's a fact that everyone wants to go eat McDonald's or any of those types of things just because, okay, I can buy my whole family a $6 meal and it'll feed all of us. Where if you go and try to be healthy, it's going to cost upwards above $20 or so, if that. And I feel like that's kind of like the big kind of excuse that a lot of people have these days where, okay, I want this because I really don't have enough money to afford that. And I feel I have a good idea up my sleeve for in the future. I don't want to let everybody know just yet, but yeah, that's something I really want to do.
Our guy, Glenn Howe, was the guy he's trained you since you were in grade school.
Yes, sir.
And he helped you get on that right diet plan.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he was extremely helpful. He kind of stepped in from where I was eating whatever I wanted. And he stepped in, gave me a little notebook and said, hey, okay, for 2 weeks, write whatever you want, or write everything that you eat down. And after that 2 weeks, he kind of looked at it and was kind of wide-eyed and was just like, okay, this is what you've been eating? And gave me this kind of guideline from, okay, eat this, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And after that, I kind of just lost 40 pounds, became a linebacker, and kind of just started molding my game to be better and better each year.
And you were a young man who bounced around at a few high schools before you landed at CDO under Dustin Peace. Yes, sir. What did you take away from your time with Coach Peace?
Oh, I took away a lot. He's one of the guys that kind of just taught me those little fundamentals of being a linebacker, and kind of just showed me, okay, hey, look at this on a certain play. And then in the end, he kind of just was one of those coaches that kind of set me free on game day, and it helped me out a lot because it didn't make me overthink things, and I just went out there and played ball, and he trusted me that I was going to go make the plays that he needed me to make, and it helped me kind of keep improving throughout the years.
And what does it say about CDO that when you get drafted now, there's going to be 2 Dorados in the National Football League?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. No, that was one of the big things. I always looked at Kadeem as kind of a person I wanted to kind of mold myself around as a football player. He always was one of those guys that he steps on the field and everyone's kind of, oh gosh, what is he going to do next? And so yeah, I kind of wanted to kind of follow his footsteps on his path and get drafted and be one of the next Dorados in the NFL.
And then you go and play for Coach Shaw, who is one of my favorite coaches on the collegiate level to watch and devise, and the way that he game plans. And what was that experience like to be around a guy that's a masterful mind who's worked at both the collegiate and the NFL level?
No, it was huge. I mean, going in as a freshman, I kind of was that kid that just went and saw the ball and went and wanted to go tackle it. I didn't really know too much. And so I stepped in and kind of started studying more, started looking at the game more and learning the ins and outs of offensive schemes and defensive schemes. And in the end, he's one of the extreme help that gave me that ability to kind of learn those things and grow as a player in that realm. And in the end, he was one of the greatest coaches that I've ever had. From the standpoint off the field, he was always there to help me through hard times. If I ever had a question, his door was open. I would be able to call him whenever I wanted. And it was extreme help, and especially in this process, he's kind of explained to me, okay, hey, this is what teams are saying, this is what you should be working on, and those types of things, and it's been really helpful.
He categorized you as a guy that's got heavy hands.
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
I've always heard that. So kind of a funny story on that was just that when I was kind of figuring out which school I was going to go to in high school, Stanford kind of told me, hey, come out to our summer camp and we want to see how you move and how you play. We like your tape. And so I was out there and we did some type of hand striking drill on this is like linebacker on linebacker stuff. And I hit one of the kids and shed off, and he came over to me. He was like, Blake, calm down. Don't kill anyone on this day. It's going to be okay. I was like, oh, all right, I'm just hitting them. So yeah, it was kind of funny from that point on.
You play obviously one of the more high impact positions, the linebacker position, and there's so much now about player safety. As a player, as a guy that's on the field, how do you protect yourself? We've heard about what everybody else is doing to protect the players, but what can the players do? What are they drilling you guys now on how to protect yourself when you're out there?
Yeah, I mean, every single day we'd have a thing called fundamental rotation, and it's kind of just four drill tackling circuit. And so you go from drill to drill, and it's just working on, okay, this is your head placement. Okay, this is your body position. Okay, this is where your hands should be, or this is where you should shoot your hips, and those types of things to kind of just work on. All right, you don't always need to just boom hit with your head, and it kind of gives you that kind of technique or fundamentals to see, okay, this is what I should be doing. And I feel like that's what helped me the most, because there's been times, okay, yeah, there's times where you can go and hit a dude extremely hard, but you could do it the right way and your head will never hurt. And I've been lucky enough, knock on wood, to never have a concussion, and it's been extremely helpful through that end just because of those fundamental rotations. Special
teams could be your way into the league, and what is your mentality when it comes to special teams, and what is your favorite special team to play on?
Yeah, I mean, my mentality when I came from high school to college, it was, I think, right before fall camp was about to end and the season was about to start, and I was telling myself, hey, I want to play. I don't want to be I don't want to redshirt and do those things. So I went up to our special teams coach and said, hey, I want to be on one of the teams, and I promise you I'll prove you right and make sure that I do the exceptional job. And so he put me on kickoff and had me run down on some practice reps, and he liked my speed down the field. He liked my physicality off blocks, tackling guys in practice. So he gave me a shot in the game, and ever since that day I played on kickoff, and I'd say that was one of my favorite special teams things to be on, because it kind of helped me mold myself into how I wanted to play at linebacker and helped me be able to be ready when I stepped in my junior year to play, because it taught me how to get off blocks, tackle the guy, and kind of make those plays in space. And then also going against the competition of college players and kind of being able to say, hey, I did this on special teams, why can't I do it on defense?
Let's talk about a couple favorites here real quick. Favorite game at CDL?
Any of the Ironwood games. Yeah, those were always the best, because it was always just extremely packed. The game's always close, and it's so much fun, great atmosphere.
Favorite game at Stanford?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That Iowa game was pretty good.
Yeah, Iowa game, I'd probably say the Iowa game, just because of going through this whole last season was just a great accomplishment for all of our seniors, just going from our junior year of 8-5 And then all of us seniors kind of after that season was over came together and said, hey, we don't want this to happen again. And to end our senior season on a Rose Bowl after a year prior was awesome.
Christian McCaffrey was probably the most impressive player I watched on tape this year. What do you like about the way he plays the game?
I mean, he's just a special kid. Like, he's a guy that's gonna go out to practice every single day, give his all, and every single time he steps in any situation, he was doing everything he could to be the best at it. And I think my favorite thing about him is just his ability to change direction unbelievably fast. I've never seen it before in my life. Like, so after fall camp ends, we don't really go against the offense, but we kind of split time, so the offense will do like their scout team reps and stuff like that. And it was just a highlight reel on the scout team D with him out there. He'd just be shaking dudes left and right, and we're just over here watching. Glad we're done having to go against him.
And obviously, with you being a linebacker and us having, one of the top linebackers in Scooby Wright having played here the last few years, we always seem to talk about the two you guys in the same conversation. When you watch Scooby play, what impresses you? What stands out about what you see with him?
I mean, his thing is like, I don't know, I see us as kind of the same. His instincts are just unreal, just being able to kind of see the play and be there at the right time because, I don't know, they always talk about both of us just being able to get there just a couple steps early than other guys can. And his physicality, his nonstop motor, I always looked at him and said, hey, I want to make sure I'm at his level or better at every single time on the field. And it was always a great thing to kind of have a competition against because we would always watch like them go against another offense or those types of things, just scouting teams. And I would get to watch him play at least every week. So
I know any of the 30 teams could call you, and you'll go play anywhere. But when you were that kid growing up, like you said, dreaming about it, what was the team that you wanted to
I mean, this is an interesting question. I would say, I mean, ever since I was little, I was always a huge Broncos fan. So I mean, my parents would love that. But yeah, I mean, in the end, I honestly could care which team. Like the team that picks me will literally be my favorite team of all time forever and the rest of my life because they are taking that risk on me and showing me that they know that I can be a player. And I know, I mean, I've told this to every team that I've talked to that if you end up drafting, because I'd get the question of like, okay, if we were in the draft room, what would you want me to tell them? And I told them that I would make sure that I was the best draft pick that you ever made. And just from the standpoint that I have that dedication, like I was talking about my nutrition, to kind of lose all that weight and do all those things. And I'm a guy that's not going to let you down in any aspect. I know all these critics are out there saying, okay, he's good at this, he's bad at this. And I just go at it like, okay, thank you for telling me this. It's kind of one of those things you kind of just like, don't look at it. But I was one of the guys that was like, I want to look at these things because I want to make sure in the next couple of years that I perfect these things and make them into my strengths because I want to show people that I'm extremely dedicated to this game and I want to be the best linebacker there ever was, and that's my goal.
The NFL Draft is this week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Blake, best of luck. We look forward to hearing your name called and seeing where your NFL future lies.
Thank you so much.
Blake Martinez, CDO grad, but most importantly, a Stanford grad. Stay with us here. We will have continuing coverage all this week of the NFL Draft right here at TucsonNewsNow.com.